The San Francisco 49ers have found themselves in the crosshairs of criticism following their recent handling of the NFL draft, and the stakes could not be higher. With pressing needs across the roster, many fans are left scratching their heads as the selections made during the draft were largely perceived as reaches. This has sparked a debate about the front office's decision-making abilities, especially given their history of selecting players who have failed to make a significant impact. I want to hear from you. Where are you watching from, and what do you think about the 49ers draft strategy? Critics have been vocal about the shortcomings of General Manager John Lynch, with some claiming that the team's success is more a product of circumstance than sound drafting. One prominent voice pointed out, "I know some 49ers fans are going to say they win a lot of games, so he must be drafting well." No, they win in spite of Lynch. This sentiment raises an important question. How much credit should Lynch receive for the team's recent successes? The argument goes that the real contributors to the 49ers' wins over the past few years have been superstars like Trent Williams, Christian McCaffrey, and Brock Purdy. Let's break this down. Lynch's acquisition of Trent Williams came as a result of a power struggle with Dan Snyder, which was a fortunate stroke of luck for the 49ers. Meanwhile, McCaffrey was brought in via trade, not drafted, and Purdy, despite his meteoric rise as a quarterback, was the last pick in the draft, often referred to as Mr. Irrelevant. Lynch gave credit for the Purdy selection to his coaching staff, notably Brian Griese and scout Steve Slowick, which paints a picture of a front office that may not fully recognize its own flaws. The truth is, the 49ers have been tantalizingly close to winning a Super Bowl, but have fallen short, and many believe their draft missteps are a primary reason. The glaring example of the Trey Lance trade looms large over Lynch's tenure. Giving up 3 first-round picks for a quarterback who hadn't even played a full season was a gamble that hasn't paid off. If it weren't for Purdy's emergence, there may have been serious conversations about Lynch's future with the team. Now, let's talk about the aging roster. While the 49ers have made some masterstroke selections in the past, George Kittle in the 5th round and Fred Warner in the 3rd both stand out. Those players are now past their prime. The reality is that the roster is aging rapidly, and the clock is ticking. The next few years are crucial. The lack of effective drafting means the team is not cultivating the younger, explosive talent necessary to keep pace in an ever-evolving league. Lynch's decisions warrant serious scrutiny, yet it's undeniable that head coach Kyle Shanahan has been able to mask some of these mistakes with his coaching acumen. But how long can that last? Can Shanahan continue to work miracles with an aging roster that lacks the dynamism of youth? As fans, we must demand more from our organization. The draft is the lifeblood of any NFL team, and the 49ers need to revamp their approach if they are to capitalize on their current window of opportunity. With the competitive landscape shifting, it's imperative that Lynch and his team step up their game. Now that we've unpacked the draft situation, let's move on to the next pressing topic surrounding the 49ers. What other challenges lie ahead for our beloved team? Stay tuned as we dive deeper into the latest developments. Jauan Jennings, once a promising name set to make waves in this offseason's free agency, now finds himself without a team as the dust begins to settle. With the San Francisco 49ers shifting their focus to established talents like Mike Evans and rookie Devon Stribling, the likelihood of Jennings returning to the Bay Area is rapidly dwindling. It's a tough break for a player who has shown flashes of brilliance, but there's no denying that his hefty financial expectations may have played a significant role in his current predicament. As Jennings' future hangs in the balance, analysts have begun speculating on where he might land next. Notably, Zachary Pearls from CBS Sports has pointed to the Indianapolis Colts as a potential fit, and it's hard not to see the logic behind that. With Alec Pierce now the primary receiving threat following the departure of Michael Pittman Jr., the Colts have a glaring need for a possession receiver. Jennings, who has proven his mettle in tough situations, could provide the kind of versatility that Indianapolis desperately requires. Pearls highlights that while Pierce is a big play specialist, the depth behind him is concerning. Nick Westbrook-Akine currently stands as the starting wideout opposite Pierce, which is far from a reassuring option. Jennings, despite his inconsistent stats, is arguably the best free agent wide receiver still available. Spotrac projections might suggest a market value of around $22.6 million for Jennings. But let's be real, Such a figure feels inflated for a player who has yet to surpass 1,000 receiving yards in a season. Still, it's crucial to consider what Jennings brings to the table. He's not just a number. He's a player who has stepped up time and time again when the 49ers faced injuries and adversity. His ability to adapt and contribute in critical moments should not be overlooked. While he may not command top dollar, his potential to enhance an offense is indisputable. The Colts could be in a position to negotiate a more favorable contract, perhaps enticing Jennings with an incentives-based deal that reflects both his talent and the market's current climate. If General Manager Chris Ballard plays his cards right, we could see Jennings donning a Colts jersey sooner rather than later, adding a much-needed spark to their offense. As the 49ers fans, we must reflect on Jennings' contributions during his tenure. He has been more than just a player. He's been a reliable cog in a system that demands versatility and resilience. While it's tough to see him potentially leaving the Bay Area, let's not forget the impact he has had. What do you think about Jennings' chances of finding a new home? Where are you watching from? And what's your opinion on this unfolding situation? Now, let's move on to our next topic, where we'll dive into the latest developments surrounding the 49ers roster. Keep your eyes peeled, because there's more to discuss. In a stunning turn of events, the Kansas City Chiefs find themselves in uncharted territory, missing the playoff for the first time since Patrick Mahomes took the reins as their starting quarterback. But that's not the only blow they've faced. Mahomes also suffered a devastating ACL tear late in the season, a significant setback that has raised questions about his status for the upcoming campaign. Now, despite the grim outlook, there's a flicker of hope. Chiefs GM Brett Veach recently revealed that Mahomes is battling back with an intensity few can match. During a revealing segment on the Pat McAfee show, Veach shared insights into Mahomes' relentless work ethic. The future Hall of Famer is spending long hours at the training facility, reportedly from 7 in the morning until late afternoon, showing a commitment that sets him apart from the average player. Even when he takes brief trips back to Texas, he brings along one of the team's assistant trainers to ensure his rehabilitation stays on track. This kind of dedication is what makes Mahomes a special player, and it's clear that his presence is a motivational force within the organization. Veach's comments reflect the optimism surrounding Mahomes' recovery, but he also cautioned against getting too far ahead of expectations. Mahomes' professional mindset is undoubtedly inspiring, yet one has to wonder about the implications of his injury on the Chiefs' overall performance. The fact remains that he underwent surgery almost immediately after the injury occurred, a decision that speaks to his determination to get back on the field. However, it's a given that Mahomes may not be at his elusive best when he returns, particularly with the Chiefs lacking a replacement for right tackle Jauan Taylor in the offseason. An unstable offensive line could potentially hinder his mobility, making his recovery all the more critical. As the offseason progresses, the entire AFC, and indeed the broader league, will be watching Missouri closely. If Mahomes can defy the odds and return to action sooner than expected, it could shift the balance of power. The Chiefs have always been a formidable team with Mahomes at the helm. Without him, they could struggle to maintain their competitive edge. So, I pose the question to you, 49ers fans. What do you think about the Chiefs' current situation? Are you confident that Mahomes will bounce back stronger than ever? Or do you think the injury will have lingering effects? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and let's hear where you're watching from. As we wrap up this segment, it's crucial to keep an eye on the developments surrounding Mahomes and the Chiefs. The NFL landscape can shift dramatically with a single player's return, and Mahomes is certainly that type of game changer. Make sure to subscribe for more in-depth analysis and updates on the San Francisco 49ers and the wider NFL landscape. Your voice matters in this community, so don't hesitate to share your opinions about the 49ers and their journey ahead.